Why former? So, for context, for those who are new here, my name is Latouri Quinchet, and I am a certified community psychologist and a former trauma specialist. And the question is asking, why am I a former trauma specialist? And it's a very fair question. So let's get into it. All right. So I work, still do, as a qualified mental health professional. And I have been a qualified mental health professional for the last, well, over 2.5 decades, almost 3 decades, if that tells you anything. I like to say it that way because if I tell you I've been almost doing this for 30 years, I don't, that doesn't even compute, right? So, with that being said, I started at 18 years old as a respite care worker for children who are in foster care. I worked my way up to becoming a facility director. I also became certified as a trauma specialist, where I served at an emergency shelter where children came into foster care or they went into police custody, and they had to be with the specialist for the first 72 hours for assessments, for intakes, for the hard questions. And with that being said, I built a relationship with trauma that at first was like, yes, I can do this. But as time goes on, you become overwhelmed. It becomes depressing. It becomes honestly like a disease that runs rampant. It spreads like a cancer. And I did not want to continue to live that life. So the simple answer is I let my certification go. But the truth of the matter is compassion fatigue took over. I had so much compassion fatigue that my world became I would rather sit in my room in the dark and avoid everybody, including my own family. And that is not the way to live, especially when you are a parent yourself, you are a sibling, a daughter, a cousin, a friend, and you just don't want to be around anybody because you don't know who's who anymore. And it just takes over. And so I chose to step away from the role because I wanted to be of better service to those who I'm supposed to be here to help. So if you've never heard of compassion fatigue, it is something that mental health professionals do experience after being in the field too long. And not just mental health professionals, also police officers, military service workers, military service members, pretty much anyone who is in what would be considered basically like a war zone, baby. It's tiring, it's frustrating, and there's not enough support due to politicians, due to bureaucracy, due to policies, due to people who abuse their power, due to people who only want to be there for a check. Also, the clients and the people that you work with, they can be very violent. They can be dangerous, and it takes its toll. So the long short of it is, I just chose not to recertify. And the long of it is, I had to take care of my own mental health. And in taking care of my own mental health, I had to assess how can I show up for others without losing faith in humanity. And so I chose to just take a different career path, but still working with people with trauma. So instead of being a mental health professional in the sense of being in a clinical setting, being in a residential facility setting, I chose to go into manual therapy. Some people may call it massage therapy, which technically is called manual therapy, where I look at the body, how people hold trauma, how they hold their stress, and then I also just address how they can cope, how they can deal with it. So I didn't want to make a long video, and I also didn't want to make a video where I'm just cutting all the time. I wanted to really just do it raw and real And just tell you the truth, the reason why I am no longer a trauma specialist is because trauma does not care who you are. Um, if you don't know how to deal with it, it will whoop your ass. And I got to a point where after 20 some years, I told you now I'm already close to 3 decades, but after 20 years, something kind of clicked and just made me choose a different path. So that's just what it is. So thank you for the question. I hope that answered the question. And that's it. Thank you. That's it. That's all. Bye, baby.